Here at Monacy NYC, we love a lot of things. We love comics.
Yep.
We love Funko Pops. We love Jimmy. May he rest in peace. But today we're going to talk about a pretty special topic for us. We're going to talk about trading cards and the mistakes to avoid when you begin your trading card journey.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems that can happen once you start really collecting. And today we're just going to go over a couple of our mistakes to avoid.
How many?
5.
All right. Let's get this shindig cracking. Number 5, not setting a budget. Trading cards can be affordable. Trading cards can be very expensive.
Yeah.
It all depends on how much you choose to spend on the hobby. Everybody has their own comfort level, and everybody has their own level of involvement. Some people are very casual and just want to pick up things here and there for fun, open a pack and see what you get. Some people are dedicated to completing their full sets and putting together massive collections that are going to be with them for the rest of their lives. These are both excellent ways to approach the hobby, but at the same time, not every approach is going to be best for everyone. It's important to know beforehand as you're getting in how much you're comfortable with spending, because if you just start saying, I'm going to open some packs and see what happens, I'm going to chase something and see how much it ends up adding up to at the end of the month, it's very easy to end up in a not so fun situation.
Yeah, you want to try to make sure you have that comfort level like Adam said, but also, like, for example, whenever I want to pick up something, I tend to set myself at, I don't want to spend more, like for individual cards, don't want to spend more than 20 on an individual card. Really sets me up so that even if I do buy a lot of a card, I am limiting myself on spending too much on something that in reality I might not want or need to that extent.
And you don't have to commit to one particular type of purchasing. You know, I have an approach that I'll take for Magic. I love Magic. I'm a fan of Magic. Whenever a new set comes out, I'll buy 1 pack. That's it. There's a product that came out recently, a wrestling product, AEW. You know, it was a new thing that I was pretty excited about. For that, I bought about 5 boxes. And that doesn't necessarily contradict, because I was aware of how much I was spending on those 1 packs for each set, and I was aware of how much I was spending on those 5 boxes. But I went in knowing that's what I wanted, or I went in knowing that's what my limit was. I didn't start opening to try to get certain cards and just open as much as I could until I got it.
Number 4, not buying singles. A common mistake people make is they'll go into a new hobby and just buy in hopes of getting exactly what they need. And they might, they really could. I mean, I recently picked up a box and I got pretty much everything I really wanted from a new set, and I was just like, I don't know, I just don't need to worry. But say there's a certain card that you're like, oh man, I opened up this box and I got nothing. It never hurts just to buy the single. It's not the end of the world. It's not hurting you if you're just buying the specific singles you're interested in.
And I think this is something that's true in different ways for different types of trading cards. For trading card game cards, things like Magic, Pokemon, often there are going to be cards that you want that are $10, $20, quite affordable. But if your plan is to buy 3 packs, 4 packs, 5 packs, at a certain point, if you don't open those cards in those packs, you'd have been better off just buying the single. If we're talking about something where the top end is a lot higher, let's say there's a particular autograph card that you're trying to pull from a particular sports product. You know, the new Prism came out for basketball and I want to get a Steph Curry. It might be that the amount that the card ends up being worth is many, many times the cost of 1 pack. That can be fun. That can be an interesting way to, you know, see what you get, and if you get lucky, that's great, where you would never spend that amount on the single. And I mean, that can be a valid way to purchase things too. But if your game plan, if you're walking in saying, I am going to buy this product because I expect to get this 1 card, that is where you can fall into the trap of spending a lot more on something you might never get.
Yeah.
Number 3, throwing bad money after good. Sometimes...
What? I've never heard this term.
Throwing bad money after good?
No.
That's a common thing that people say.
Okay.
So there's the concept of throwing good money after bad. The idea being that, you know, when you start getting in the hole, when you've spent money that hasn't been worth it, you spend more money to try to make up for it. right?
Okay.
You try to spend more to turn a bad situation into a good situation, but then it's possible in that circumstance to end up, just making things worse by spending more.
Okay.
I don't like to think about things negatively. I like to think about things positively. I like to think about the positive scenarios, the scenarios where you have fun, you buy some packs, and you actually get something that's really, really good.
Yep.
That's the world that we're living in, right?
What do you
The
hope
world
for?
of winners, Jake. What do you do when you've just bought a pack of Pokemon cards and you got that super special Charizard that you are hoping to pull, that everybody's dream is, you got it in your sleeve, it's amazing, it's in great condition, and you know that you're not going to be able to pull another card that great from that pack. What I've seen a lot of people do is buy more of that pack. I have seen people try to sell me the best card in the set so that they can buy more packs of that set just to see what they get. Sometimes you do really well. That's not to say that it's a time to stop. If you have more money that you want to spend and you've got more products that you want to buy, that's great. But know what you're getting and know what you're looking for. Because if you're just opening packs for the sake of opening packs, even when your fortunes are doing well, you're going to hit diminishing returns at a certain point. If you're going to spend a certain amount, it's good to think about what you're getting so that you can, at the very least, have a good chance of getting more stuff that you'll enjoy than just going through the motions for, less than when you started.
Number two, it kind of is a given, but some people don't always do this. You want to have proper storage for your collectible. For cards, often you're going to be buying a bunch, and sometimes they're worth a lot. Sometimes they're not. They might not be worth much, but you want to make sure they're at least kept together in a box or something in a safe, secure place. Avoid tables where you have food or windowsills.
Excuse me, you said tables where you have food. It's called efficiency. Your cards can pull double duty as coasters.
Yeah, but
You've seen this in action. It works.
But you don't necessarily want to do that if you want to keep your cards pristine. One of my personal things that I try to do for my collections is, for one of my newer, I recently got into Digimon. I have a bunch of just 800 count row boxes where I have it organized by color. And recently I actually got it to the point where I kind of have it set by set, which took a lot of time. But now whenever I need to find a card that I'm looking for, I can pinpoint where it should be and just grab it and go. Another thing I would recommend if you're picking up big boxes and stuff, if you're committed to what's going to be in there, I highly recommend just putting Sharpie on it and just marking what it is. Because if you just have a bunch of random 800 count boxes just sitting there, you're going to forget what's in them. Having either a post-it note or some way of really keeping track of that helps so much. And then you can grab what you need and go from there.
Well, putting cards on the windowsill overnight, perhaps for a couple of weeks or months at a time, is a perfectly legitimate way to store cards. It's important to have a game plan going in. I think the real situation that we all want to avoid is buying a bunch of cards, taking them home, and then having no idea what you're going to do with them. Because if they accumulate and pile up and you have no idea what your end game is or what your plan is, that is a situation that's a lot harder to deal with than getting a box for them or getting a windowsill set up for them right at the start. Remember, it's a lot easier to organize things from the beginning than when you're 7,000 cards in.
Yeah.
Because that's going to take a lot more work to get in a manageable state.
Yeah, I also have a bit of a system where whenever I get new packs and stuff, anything that I know I want to hold on to or I know goes into a certain spot, I tend to have them either sleeved or ready to go in one location. And, occasionally I'll leave stuff out, but if I know that they're safe in that location, then I can put anything else that I'm not really worried about into, I have a couple of big boxes that they can go into until I decide to either organize more thoroughly, or at least I know this is my box of more recent stuff and I can go from there.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be fancy. I think at the end of the day, we're not saying that you need to invest a whole bunch of money and put a binder, get a binder for every single card that you have.
I don't use binders.
Or have everything, on display in a one-touch case. I think the real important thing is just know where it's going to go and know how to get back to it when you want to.
Yeah.
And if it's something you know you're not going to go back to because it's cards that you have hundreds of copies of because they're base commons in various sets, maybe you don't need to hold on to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 1, buying the hype.
But buying that, Adam, I am the hype. Why would I need to buy more of it?
Jake, we all want as much of you as we can get. But when we're talking about trading cards,
Okay.
sometimes you pay a premium just for the buzz, just for the word on the street, just for the excitement about a product that everybody's talking about. Sometimes people talk about things because, there's something great about it and it's something that a lot of people would be glad to get their hands on. But I've seen a lot of folks, especially younger folks, who will gravitate toward a product not because they even want something specific that's in it, not even because they know a lot about it, but just because they've seen other people buying it and have heard that it's the thing you want. It can be great to pick up information about stuff online. It's great to research products and know what you're getting into. Often, if people are talking about something, there might be something to check out there. But you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of just buying something because other people are talking about it. Because sometimes, even if that's something that works for them, even if that's something that they want, you can spend a lot and then walk away unsatisfied when you find out that what you got wasn't really all that worth it to you.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that a lot when last year when Pokemon Celebrations came out. It was a huge hyped set, and all the kids were really into it. But now, the hype died down, obviously, because it's been a year. But the reality was a lot of kids were kind of sad with what they got because it wasn't a huge set. So there was only so many cards that they were actually getting.
Yeah, not a huge collector set, relatively narrow. And definitely I thought it was a very fun product because there was a lot of retro stuff, a lot of throwbacks, a lot of reprints. And if that's something that you go for, I'm one of those people. I think that can be a lot of fun and something worth buying. But if you don't know that going in, and if you're not really expecting that, and you're just seeing that, oh, this is the big release, so I'm gonna get it because it's the big release, it's possible then to be disappointed when there might have been other products, perhaps even more affordable products, that you might have enjoyed more. So those have been 5 of the top mistakes that people make getting into the trading card hobby adventure, and mistakes that you might want to avoid. More serious collectors out there and more experienced collectors out there, what do you think about our takes? Are there other mistakes that you have made? Are there other choices that you regret? Be sure to share them with us in the comments.
Do you regret washing your ensnaring bridge in the wash repeatedly? No. Do you regret spilling a lot of pasta sauce on your Thassa deck?
It was wine, Jake. I had a good reason.
Yeah.
I had a tumbler glass filled with water, and I had a wine glass.
And then you decided
I was wondering if I put the wine glass in the tumbler, will it float on the water? It didn't float on the water. So then it spilled, the glass broke, and wine got on the deck. So it started off as a blue deck, now it's a blue-red deck.